guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is keeping safe and everyone is doing great. Today's recipe is a delicious, moist, and my amazing black cake recipe. That's right. Some call it rum cake, some say black cake, whatever. The world is big and there is like certain recipes with different name to it, but it's pretty much similar ingredients and same concept. So I grew up in Guyana. I migrated to the US, and I still call it black cake, as that's how I know it as. So first off, the first thing we're gonna start to do is make our burnt sugar, or you would say caramel, for a black cake. Here I have some wine, I have some brown sugar, and some water. Guys, I'm making a little bit of the burnt sugar just to show you guys how this is done, because some people live in places where they cannot get the burnt sugar. It's been sold now in store in bottles, and some people cannot get access to it, like the location that they're living, they cannot get access to it. So this is one way of making your homemade caramel brown sugar for your black cake. So I have my pan. I'm gonna just shift over here. I have my pan heating up here, and I am going to start the process. In goes our sugar. And guys, be careful with this. This is very, you could get burned very easily with it. So be very careful when you're doing this. Some people add like cloves and cinnamon to their burnt sugar while they're doing it. They add it to it. I am not adding anything to mine because most of my cinnamon and spices like that will be added to my cake. So we're starting the process here now, guys. And now we gotta leave the sugar here. It's gonna start to melt down. And I would suggest to keep this on medium to low heat. So if you cannot find the burnt sugar in your store, and this is not a browning, guys, like browning that you use for like brown stew and stuff like that. This is completely different. This is mostly for cake, and some people use it too in their stews. Yeah. But it's mostly used for cake. So I'm going to let this start do its thing and melt down. We're looking for this to start melt down. I know this is a big favorite in Guyanese household. Black cake, fruit cake, sponge cake, Christmas time. All the homes in Guyana, every mom busy baking up their famous black cake recipe. You know, everybody and their mom or sister, auntie or uncle, they all have like their own signature black cake recipe and fruit cake recipe and sponge cake recipe. This is simply my take on it, guys, how I do mine. So I am sure some of the ingredients I will be adding to mine some people wouldn't use, and it's vice versa. Some ingredients people might be using, I might not add to mine. Feel free to give my recipe a try and let me know what you guys think about it. So we're looking for this to start melt down, guys, and it's gonna take a little bit. So I'm gonna just spread it out, let it do its thing. When you're doing the burnt sugar, I prefer to use brown sugar, that demerara brown sugar. But if you can't find that, that's totally fine. Go right ahead and use the white sugar that we have over here. That's totally fine. I always say, guys, make use of whatever ingredients you have. If you cannot find something, substitute it, guys. Like, it wouldn't make a big difference in the recipe. We gotta work with what we have. So I'm gonna let this starting to melt down, and then I'm gonna come back and show you what we're looking for as we do this process. So here you have it, guys. The sugar completely melt down, and like I mentioned, be very, very careful. This is like hot bubbling sugar. This gets on your skin, you're gonna get badly burned, so be extremely careful. So now this is the caramel we're looking for. The darker you want your caramel, the longer you let it burn in the pan or sits in the pan. So I like my caramel very dark, so I am just going to let this burn further down. Remember, you can always double the recipe for more. Like I said, guys, I already made my caramel for my black cake. I am just doing this from scratch so you guys can have an idea on how to do your own caramel. You can do a batch of this, and you can keep it inside a container. Whenever you need caramel, you have caramel on hand. And like I said, this is great for stew too, not only cake, so you can use it in your stew. Okay guys, I gotta turn up my vent because burning sugar in the house, not fun. So much smoke. I like to do this summertime. I usually do it outside, and like I said, bottle it up and keep it, so when I do need caramel, I have caramel in hand. So look at that color, guys. That is a nice brown black color we're looking for our caramel. This is looking perfect, and I'm gonna gradually add my wine to this. Be very careful when you're doing this part, guys. And we're gonna start to cook this or boil it down, guys. And this is to your desired consistency. If you want it a little bit runny, you can turn it off and leave it. And if you want it thicker, you can boil it down further, reduce it further. I usually use water and wine, or you can use all wine. It's your preference. For today's caramel, it doesn't look like I'm going to even use the water. I'm just going to stick with using the wine alone because it's like pretty thin, and I'm going to boil it down a little bit more. If I add the water, it's going to be too thin for me. So as of right now, I would just eliminate the water and add just the wine. And look at that beautiful rich color, guys. And I always say, for me, my black cake, I feel like it tastes better because I do my own caramel or burnt sugar comparing to the store-bought caramel. So I'm gonna boil this down a little bit because I love the caramel thick. I don't like a thin, watery, runny caramel. Don't put your face. I have Atiana here peeking. Don't bring your face too close to this. You don't want to get burned. So remember, guys, I just use the wine and I eliminate the water completely because I feel the caramel don't need the water. It's thin enough. I only add the water. I only add a little bit of water. If the caramel it's like too thick, I don't want to do all wine. But this is perfect for me. So I'm gonna boil this down a little bit more. And I'm going to come back and show you guys what the consistency I'm looking for. Remember, if you like your caramel a little bit runnier, you can take it off the heat. If you want it a little bit thicker, which I would recommend thicker, we boil this down a little bit more. So see you guys shortly. Here you have it, guys. This is what my caramel is looking like. It's boiling down perfectly, like how I would want it. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, this is the consistency I'm looking for. Look, let me get a spoon. I don't want to burn myself, or a knife. Like if you pull the, okay guys, I'm just gonna touch this. That is what you're looking for. It doesn't come back, like it doesn't come back and form the line. If you can see, that is how I know my caramel is good to go. So I am going to turn this off the heat, and I'm gonna let it completely cool down, and I'm gonna pour it into my container for my black cake. I'm gonna come back and show you guys when this is cooled down what it looks like, because as it cools it gets thicker. So here you have it. This is how you make your caramel for your black cake, and I am going to go ahead and bake up a black cake today. So you guys are going to see that step and how I use my caramel, and of course I'll attach this video at the starting of it so you guys can enjoy all the process and the step, and you can do everything from scratch, or you can go ahead and buy your caramel, your preference, no judgment. Everyone cooks differently, everyone preference is different, and there is nothing wrong about you getting help and buying the store-bought caramel, because it's way easier in my opinion. But I just like to make mine because I am so accustomed to do this. So I'm gonna see you guys shortly with the other ingredients to bake up a beautiful black cake. Here you have it, guys. These are the ingredients for our black cake. So let's get cracking. So here I have some eggs, and guys, I left my eggs and butter overnight room temperature. That makes a big difference. I suggest if you guys are baking any sort of cake, take it out. You don't have to do it overnight, but at least take it out a couple hours before so everything comes to room temperature. Here I have some brown sugar. I have here some butter. The brand I'm using is Land of Lake. For those who are familiar with that in the US. I don't know if you guys have Land of Lake in the Caribbean. I am not 100% sure, but that's the brand I'm using. And of course, I am not sponsored by them, guys. That is just a preference I use. Here I have some mixed essence. I have here some grated ginger, some grated orange peel, and here I have some of my spices. I am using all fresh spice. What I went ahead and do, if you have a coffee grinder, I just put the spice in there and I grind it up to the consistency that I'm looking for. I have here some 5 spice, I have some cinnamon, I have some cloves, I have some nutmeg, and these are smelling like amazing. Oh, the scent. It's gonna be divine in our cake. I have here some baking powder. This is our caramel that I previously made. Look how thick this is, guys. It's so rich and thick. I have here some almond essence, and this is my fruit that I grind. This has been soaking for a year, guys. I recently grind some more fruit and I added to it, but I have this soaked since last year. I've been soaking this, so this is like really the flavor from it is like when you open that fruit container, like all that burst of happiness burst in your face. But you guys don't have to have fruit that is soaked a year. A couple weeks would be fine. I have here some all-purpose flour. I love to use the 5 rose flour when I'm baking any sort of cake. I love that flour to bake with. It's pre-sifted 5 rose flour. So we're gonna start by mixing our butter, creaming our butter and sugar, and that's how we're gonna start this off. So let's get started, guys. So the first step to this is we're going to add our sugar to the mixer. Ooh, smoky. And now we're gonna start adding our butter, and the step to this is we're gonna, as always when you're baking a cake, the first step I would believe everyone do is to start creaming the butter and sugar, and you want to incorporate the butter and sugar well together. This is why I'm saying it's very important to have your butter at room temperature. It works better that way. It mixes in really well and it don't give you like a tough time. If you add the cold butter to the sugar, it's going to take forever. It's going to be forever. It's going to take a while, guys. So make sure and with any kind of cake, if you bake it with room temperature ingredients, it comes out way better. So I'm adding my butter here. If you guys are hearing a little background noise, that is my daughter. She's doing virtual. She's on with her class and teacher. So there you have it. Now I am going to start the mixing process. I am going to put my mixer on speed 2 and we're gonna get creaming. Another way to do this, you can use a hand mixer. You don't have to use a stand mixer, or you can go ahead and use your hand with a bowl and a spoon. Back in the days, that's how my mom used to do it. When we would be baking up for Christmas time, everyone would be in the kitchen helping. They would have like this big bowl, and it's usually be the cake bowl, a big bowl, and they would add the sugar and the butter, and everybody would be turning and turning and turning and turning it until it's all break down. Then you're gonna add the eggs. So now we have it easier. We have mixers and we have like all these gadgets that can help us along. So I am going to let this start cream and break down, and then I'm going to come back and show you what we're looking for. So guys, this is what our butter and sugar is looking like. Do you see how fluffy that looks? That is what we're looking for. So while this was mixing, I went ahead and scraped the sides down of the bowl and stuff like that, so it's mixed in well. Everything is mixed in well, and make sure you guys don't forget to do that step. Like, you occasionally go in and scrape the sides down like this and bring everything in the middle so everything is like well incorporated. I'm just going to mix this a little bit more and incorporate that well. Whatever sides got missed, let me just do that. There we go. We're gonna mix this a little bit more, guys. And now I am going to start adding my essence to this. That's my mixed essence. If you can't find mixed essence, you can always use some vanilla essence. I just add my almond essence. And guys, everything I am using will be listed in the description box below along with the measurements. So now we're gonna start gradually add our eggs one at a time. Make sure to always crack your eggs in a separate bowl, because you never know if you have a bad one in there, and you don't want to just like drop a bad egg in your mixture. So we're gonna add our eggs one at a time. And we're letting that get incorporated before we drop the other one. Egg number 2. So I am going to go ahead and gradually add each of my eggs one at a time. Let everything incorporate well, mixed in well. In the meantime, scrape the sides down so it's well, everything is well mixed in. When I finish that step, I am going to come back and show you as we add our other ingredients. Okay guys, so this is what our egg, butter, and sugar is looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and add our spices to this. And that is my nutmeg, my clove, my 5-spice, and my cinnamon directly to this. And then I'm gonna add our ginger and our orange peel to this. Have everything started mixed in there. Now to this mixture, I'm going to start adding my fruit. And I have a video up. I am going to link it at the bottom of this and how I prepare my fruit and what was inside my fruit. So I'm gradually adding, let it mix in well. Oh, and the fruit is smelling so good, guys. Smelling yum. And I'm going to keep adding my fruits, guys, until it's well incorporated. Then we're going to start to add our flour, or our final ingredient will be our flour and our baking powder and our caramel. And do you guys see how filled this bowl is getting? Yummy. I like a lot of fruit in my black cake and my fruit cake. So to this, guys, I added almost 6 cups, or like 2 pounds of fruit to the cake. So I'm gonna let that mix in really well, and then I'm gonna start gradually add our flour. So I'm gonna see you guys back in that step. Guys, so I just went ahead and popped the it's like a lid that the mixture came with, so the flour like doesn't like spill all over the place when you're adding it. So I'm gradually adding our flour 1 spoon at a time. Let it mix in. If you're using a hand mixer and it becomes too tough for the mixer to mix it, because it's a lot of batter, guys, you can always use a spoon and start gradually add your flour, like mix your flour in. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this step up. Then I'm gonna come back and show you as we add our baking powder. Actually, this is our baking powder. I'm just gonna add it to our flour right now and just add it together. So I'm gonna finish adding our flour, baking powder. Last step, we're gonna add our color to the darkness we're looking for. So I'm gonna come back when we're gonna do that step. Guys, so it's caramel time. Remember, I tell you, as the caramel sits, look how, let me get this in a shot. Look how thick this gets, guys. So if you want your caramel more runny, you can always feel free to, like I said, to take it out less runny and let it sit. So I'm just adding my caramel here, and it's thick. And this is to the desired color you're looking for, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna stop this. My mixer is pretty full, and add it directly here, guys. Do you see how rich that is? It's rich and messy and gooey. So I'm gonna incorporate this, mix this in well, and then I'm gonna check and see if that's the color I am looking for and if it needs more. So I'm gonna let this mix in, and then I'm gonna come back and I am going to let you guys know if I'm adding more or that color is good for me. This is what our cake is looking like. This is the color I like mine to be. Remember, when this goes into the oven and start the baking process, it's gonna start getting darker. As we soak this, it's gonna become darker as well. So this is the color I'm gonna stick to. I add about I would say about a cup and a half of caramel to this to get it to this color. Remember guys, it's a lot of batter in there. Now, like look at this guys. Remember, our mom used to say, or grandma, what would they say? When you stick a spoon in the middle and it stands straight and not falling, perfect, the batter is perfect. So now I am going to go ahead. I went ahead and took a whisk and whisked the caramel into here because it wasn't getting incorporated well with the mixer. So I just went ahead and whisked it in. I want it like well mixed in there. So I am going to go ahead and start to put these in our pan to bake them off. My oven is preheating 275 low and slow heat for black cake. I am using some of these let me move this out of the way, wrong foil pan. Perfect. Why I'm using this is because it comes with lid. So if you want to give cake, you know, to family, friend, you just put the lid on and you give it to them. It soaks great in here too. You just, like every day you would have to soak your cake. Every 2 days I would say you would keep on soaking it. So this is great for it. I am gonna also use a glass pan, a small glass pan that I have for my home use, because it comes with a lid too. So it's good for me. It's like secure and sealed tight with the lid on. So for me to soak my cake and keep it secure that way. Or you can always bake it in your regular pan, whatever pan you want to use, and always wrap it tight, soak it, wrap it tight in cling wrap. You can go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna start pouring in some of this deliciousness into here. Yummy. Ooh, the smell in my kitchen, guys. Oh, it's smelling amazing. And I'm not gonna overfill the pan. I think that's pretty much good enough for me there. Next, I always like give the pan a tap, even out the batter, any air that is in there, like it compact and nice. Second pan. Ooh. Look how beautiful this is, guys, and it's smelling so good. So I'm just gonna even it out. I am going to tap, 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 tap. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, pop these babies into the oven, and I'm gonna see you guys back when it's finished. I'm gonna show you what we're looking for to know that it's finished, and I'm gonna time it to let you know how long it took to bake in these large file. Yeah, I think it's the 9-inch, I believe, foil pan. So I'm gonna time it and let you guys know how long it took to bake. If you're using a regular pan, like maybe a 9-inch spring foam pan, I would say anywhere to an hour and a half. But remember guys, keep checking your cake. Everyone oven temperature bakes differently and it varies. So our cake is finished when you insert a toothpick in the middle and it comes out clean. So I am going to track the process and let you guys know what it is. Okay guys, so this is what our finished black cake is looking like. It baked in the oven for exactly 1 hour and 10 minutes. And this is in a glass pan. Surprisingly, the other ones that I put in the foil pan, it's still baking in the oven. So this is going to depend on your oven temperature and the pan that you use. I tested mine, as you can see right there, I poked a hole to make sure that it was finished. And how you know that? You poke the hole in the middle of the cake, and when it comes out completely clean like this, nothing on it, that means it's ready. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, I'm gonna let this cool down for about 5 minutes, and then I am going to go ahead and soak it with some dark rum, or you can use some red wine. I prefer the rum first. The first soaking I do the rum, then I do wine. So every like 2 to 3 days you would keep on soaking your cake, and that helps the cake to cure, and it gives you like a delicious cake. Another thing too, guys, if you cannot use alcohol and you prefer this to be alcohol free, you can soak your fruits with some jamun juice, or grape juice, or I would say some apple cider. You can soak it with that too. And when you're soaking, when you do the cake, it's not going to be the same, guys. I have to be honest, it's not going to taste as good as when you soak it with wine or the alcohol, but you're still gonna enjoy a good cake. And when you finish baking the cake, you can go ahead and soak it too with the grape juice and the jamun juice, or a little bit of the apple cider, or you can do a mixture of it too. So that's another way to do it, eliminate the alcohol completely. So I am going to let this cool down. I am going to come back and show you guys when I'm soaking this. Okay guys, time to soak our cake. And I have here some dark rum that I'm soaking it with, and I am just pouring this all over the cake. It's about a cup right now. Some people insert hole into the cake, like poke it all over. This is why I bake it in this pan. This pan, it's gonna absorb. I'm not gonna poke hole, I just leave it in the glass pan like that. Do you see, if you guys can see how it's like settling all over? It's gonna set in the pan, and it's just gonna start to suck up all the alcohol. But if you want to poke a few holes, you can go right ahead and do that too. I'm just gonna do a few here, let you guys see that. You can do that too. But this cake is gonna sit in this pan. Excuse me guys, okay, my timer, I had something on and the timer just went off. This cake is gonna sit and remain in this pan. I have a tight lid for this. I'm gonna put the lid in, and I'm gonna soak this cake every 2 to 3 days. I'm going to check it and make sure it's soaking well, and if it needs more alcohol or if it needs more wine, I am going to add it. So this is it. We're just gonna leave this and let it that alcohol that we just add soak in well before I cut into this. So probably in 2 to 3 days time I'm gonna cut into this. I want you guys to see what it looks like when it's like real soak, like it's soaked well, before I cut into it. Although I'm drooling, I want to cut into it. I'm going to be a good girl, because I know if black cake don't like soak well and cure well, it's not the same. The taste is not the same. So this is it. We're just gonna leave this baby to let it do its thing and cure, and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys, cut into it and show you guys what it's looking like inside. Hey guys, so this is what the black cake look like in the ones that I bake in the foil pan. So I went ahead and poked some hole, and I already soaked it with the alcohol. So this is what it's looking like. This to bake in the oven for 1 hour and 30 minutes exactly, guys. So if you're gonna bake in these pans, that's what it's gonna be like, around that, an hour 30 minutes or hour 25. So you have to know your oven temperature. So I am going to go ahead, cover these baby up, and like I said, I would soak them every 2 to 3 days. So I'm going to cut into one of them when it's soaked well, so you guys can see what it looks like inside. So guys, here you have it. This is what our finished black cake looks like, or like I said, some people in other country call it rum cake, fruit cake, whatever you may call it in your country. This is simply my version and the Guyanese take on it, as we know it as in Guyana, black cake. And this is what it looks like. It's soaked overnight in the wine. Look at this, guys. Look how moist this cake is. It's so moist and it's so compact. That's how black cake should be. It shouldn't be spongy. It should be like very compact and like a nice thick slice. So I am going to, of course, I gotta cut into this for you guys to see. Look at this, and it tastes amazing, guys. I have to eat it because it's so delicious. But remember, the longer you soak the cake, the better it tastes. So I would advise you guys to prepare your cake ahead of time, soak it, and serve it up Christmas Day. Make sure when you serve a slice of cake, that person that eats it is completely drunk. I'm just kidding. But that's the beauty about black cake. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. I cannot wait to see your creation on this recipe, what you guys do with this recipe. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys, love you guys, and have a happy and blessed and safe holiday.